Imagine a charming hotel, a heaven for weary travelers. Now imagine that very hotel becoming a twisted labyrinth designed for a horrifying purpose. This is the story of H. Holmes and his World's Fair Hotel, a place where hospitality masked a killer's dark desires. Hello everyone, and once again welcome back to our YouTube channel, where we uncovering the darkest tales of true crimes. Today, we are delving into the twisted mind of H. Holmes, America's first documented serial killer. We'll explore his elaborate murder mansion, his victims, and the chilling events that led to his demise. So buckle up, because this is the story that will shiver down your spine. H. Holmes, born Herman Webster Mudgett on May 16, 1861 in Gilmanton, New Hampshire, is often considered America's first serial killer. Holmes came from a relatively affluent family and was described as intelligent and academically gifted. However, his early life also displayed signs of a troubled future. Holmes had a fascination with medicine and anatomy from a young age, a curiosity that was set to verge on macabre. This interest led him to enroll at the University of Michigan Medical School in 1882. While at medical school, Holmes engaged in various fraudulent schemes, including stealing cadavers from the university's laboratory to collect insurance money by making false claims. After graduating, Holmes moved frequently, adopting different aliases and engaged in numerous scams. His charm and persuasive skills allowed him to deceive and manipulate people easily. By 1886, he settled in Chicago, where he would create his most infamous legacy. In Chicago, Holmes built a three-story hotel, later dubbed the Murder Castle, in the Englewood neighborhood. Initially intended to capitalize on the influx visitors for the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition, the building was a labyrinthine structure designed to confuse and trap its occupants. It included soundproof rooms, secret passages, trapdoors, and even a gas chamber. The basement housed a dissecting table, stretching rack, and crematory. Holmes lured his victims, often women who were drawn to Chicago by the World's Fair, with promises of employment or lodging. He would then trap them in his hotel, where they were subjected to various torture before being killed. Holmes sold many of his victims' skeletons to medical school and other institutions, profiting from his gruesome deeds. The exact number of Holmes' victims remains unknown, with estimates ranging from 20 to as many as 200. Holmes was a master manipulator, using his charm and intelligence to lure unsuspecting victims into his deadly web. Many were women drawn to Chicago by the promise of employment during 1893 World's Columbian Exposition. Holmes often placed ads in newspapers offering jobs or lodging, and sometimes he even promised marriage. Once they were under his roof, Holmes' victims faced a variety of horrific fates. Some were drugged and suffocated in soundproof rooms designed to muffle their screams. Others were trapped in airtight vaults where they slowly asphyxiated. The more gruesome aspects of Holmes' methods involving his makeshift laboratory in the basement of his murder castle. Here he conducted unspeakable experiments, dissecting bodies and removing organs. Holmes' background in medicine gave him the knowledge to perform these acts with disturbing precision. Holmes was not only driven by a sadistic desire to kill, but also by financial greed. He took out life insurance policies on many of his victims, profiting from their deaths. The true extent of his depravity is horrifying to contemplate, as each new discovery about his methods reveals deeper layers of cruelty and cunning. Holmes' reign of terror wouldn't last forever. One of his business partners, Benjamin Piddizel, mysteriously vanished, which set off a chain of events leading to Holmes' eventual capture. Piddizel's wife, Carrie, grew suspicious of her husband's sudden disappearance and Holmes' inconsistent explanations. Piddizel had agreed to participate in an insurance scam with Holmes, in which he would fake his own death to collect a $10,000 life insurance payout. However, Holmes had other plans. Instead of staging Piddizel's death, Holmes actually murdered him, using chloroform and setting his body on fire to make it look like an accidental death. Holmes then convinced Carrie that her husband was still alive and traveling under a different identity. Holmes took advantage of the situation by manipulating Petitzel's wife and three of their five children, leading them on convoluted journey across several states under the guise of reuniting them with Petitzel. Meanwhile, detectives from the Pinkerton National Detective Agency were closing in on Holmes, having been alerted to his fraudulent activities. As Carrie Petitzel's suspicions grew, she contacted the authorities, who began to unravel the web of lies Holmes had spun. The investigation revealed the true horrors of the World's Fair Hotel, also known as the Murder Castle. Authorities discovered the hidden rooms, torture chambers, and evidence of numerous murders. A frantic chase ensued, leading authorities from Chicago to Toronto and ultimately back to Indianapolis. Holmes, always the charmer, tried to play the innocent man, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. After his arrest in Boston in November 1894, Holmes faced multiple charges, primarily for insurance fraud. However, as the investigation progressed, the true extent of his crimes began to surface. Detectives discovered the bodies of the Petitzel children hidden in the rented properties in Toronto and Indianapolis, revealing Holmes' brutal methods of eliminating those who could expose him. Holmes' trial became a media sensation, with the public eager to see the monster behind the mask. The courtroom was packed by the journalists and spectators, all captivated by the tales of horror emerging from the proceedings. Holmes, even the manipulative figures, maintained his innocence, using his charm and eloquence to try to sway the jury. The climax of the trial came when Holmes was found guilty of the murder of Benjamin Petitzel. The overwhelming evidence, including the physical remains of the victims and Holmes' own contradictory statements, sealed his fate. The jury was convinced not only of his guilt in Petitzel's death, but also of his broader spree of murders, frauds, and deceptions. On May 7, 1896, H. Holmes met his end on the gallows. His final words a chilling testament to his twisted nature. "I built a castle for the pleasure of killing my fellow beings." So what are your thoughts on H. Holmes? Do you think that the true number of his victims will ever be known? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you find this video informative, please give it a big thumbs up, share with others who might be interested, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to the Silent Screams for more true crime stories.